No matter how you look at this stuff, we've
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Live from SNJ Today Studios, Southern New Jersey, broadcasting live around the world. This is Rockin' with The Rock. And here's The Rock.
Good evening, everyone. You are rocking with The Rock on SNJ Today, 1240 AM at snjtoday.com. High above Millville, live from the Glassworks, I am Mark Benedetto, and thanks for joining me for a very short version of Rockin' with The Rock, because tonight at 7:30, Angels Baseball pregame live is here on 1240 AM, so my 2-hour show is cut back to 90 minutes tonight, unfortunately. If you want to call in tonight, please do so at 856-765-1240, 856-765-1240. As always, check out my Facebook page for the latest updates on my show, which is SNJ Today's Rockin' with The Rock. And while you're on Facebook, check out our own station page, SNJ Today. Follow us on Twitter at SNJ Today. Now, ladies and gentlemen out there in Radio Land tonight, I have very special guests here in front of me, the Non-Domestiks, Katrina and Rozaba. And it's all because of you out there, because a couple weeks ago I said on my show, if you have any suggestions or requests for guests to come on, to reach out to them, and I definitely did. And a lot of my listeners out there, as you know, like to hang out at the local bars here in Millville and the music scene, and they mentioned a couple of band names, so I reached out to some of them, and the one that responded back was right here in front of me tonight, the Non-Domestiks. So we're going to get started right now with the interview here on SNJ Today's Rockin' with The Rock. All right, live in the studio here in front of me to my right, I have Rozaba, and to my left I have Katrina. So welcome, and thanks for coming on tonight.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for having us.
So I know it's a miserable night out there. I know you appreciate you driving down here in this rainy conditions, so thanks again. And why don't we get started and tell the listeners now about what is the Non-Domestiks? So before we jump into the actual band, let's start breaking down about how your career started off. I believe you started at 5 years old playing, or 7 years old playing piano, and Katrina was 5 years old. So from a young age, you definitely started into the music. Now, how did that happen? Was that more about family saying you should play an instrument, or is it more about, I just want to get involved now and learn how to play music?
There were musical instruments just lying around the house. My dad bought a piano, and it was just there. And I also was very influenced by my older sister, who was into the Beatles, and she was really a major music lover and rock lover and had albums everywhere, and I just would steal them and go in my room and sit for hours and listen to them, and I just wanted to, it just made me want to play, and I just took to it and just sat at the piano and just started banging out, and it all started from there. What
was the first song that you learned, like, wow, I could actually play something for once?
I think it was Mary Had a Little Lamb, but I learned it by ear, I did.
That's great. And how about you, Katrina? How about yourself?
Basically, we had a piano in the house, and everybody played. And I was the youngest, so everybody was playing. And I was like, well, it looks like fun. I want to do it, too. So, and they had a piano in my first grade school class, which was really nice because then, I didn't have to go out for recess. I could just play the piano. That started at a young age. Yeah, it was definitely an escape for me. I was kind of a loner as a kid, and music was definitely my escape, and that's why I would just play for hours. I taught myself how to improvise on the piano and just would disappear into it for hours. So.
And from piano, then you progressed to other instruments, I'm guessing?
Yeah, when I was 16, I started going to concerts and wanted to play guitar, like all the greats that were in front of me, and I took a few lessons, and then after that I pretty much went on my own, and you really love the guitar, and from there later in my adult years I got into bass and drums as of late. I would say maybe the past 10 years I've been playing drums. So.
And Katrina, I know going from piano, I see on your bio that you've written almost 250 songs on your guitar. So, wow.
Well, actually, that's guitar and piano. It's something that if you like, there was a period that was really prolific, and I would write, maybe 15 or 20 a year. And so all it takes is like 15 or 20 years. Got 250.
Wow.
But actually, I have more than that now, but I stopped counting at 250.
Yeah, and one of the things I don't really consider myself a major writer, and that's one of the reasons why I put an ad in the paper looking for somebody to collaborate with who was more of a writer that I could bounce ideas off of, and it's really worked out.
So how did everything start then from the ad? The ad say, I'm looking for someone who has my musical talent.
Well, basically, if I remember correctly,
You should tell the story of how you...
It was in the Trading Times, which is now what Craigslist would be, except then you had to pay $1 for it, and it came out every Friday. Huh. And I got it faithfully for years, and my friends were always laughing at me. They're like, you're still reading that stupid paper, nothing's happening, right? So if I remember right, it said something about that she was looking for, I think you might have said multi-instrumentalist, I'm not sure. But you said a strong vocalist.
Just looking for somebody to collaborate with on original music, who, maybe had strong...
Yeah, whatever it was, I showed it to my sister and I said, look, she's looking for me. And my sister rolled her eyes. She's like, oh, yeah, again, another one. It was funny.
Right. But apparently she was looking in the Trading Times for years, right?
Oh, yeah, it was. Yes. Mm-hmm. And I responded to ads, too. And some rejected me and some I rejected. It's just the way it goes.
And what year was this? Like in sometime in the 90s?
99? 98?
98, yeah.
Because then I see here on your bio that Time to Turn was your first album released in 99. So it was a quick turnaround to make your first album.
It was amazing. Well, the first time I met her and she played me a few songs, I was like, I knew.
Well, let me tell you about her when she played her demo for me. I'm kind of rough around the edges with my music. And I had heard other people's music and not always impressing to me. And they would talk a really big game. And she was very like, yeah, I got a couple of songs, they're okay. So I played her mine and I'm like, yeah, this is mine. And I felt relatively confident. And then she played me hers. I was like, I feel like I got suckered at pool. It was horrible. I was like, I looked like an idiot. I mean, hers was like all polished, like this old diamond. And I had thrown this slop out, but, but really, I could just tell right away that we sound remarkably the same, actually, vocally. Especially.
Yeah, and it really is hard to find somebody that you really connect with and click with like that. And not just with the writing, but vocally. I think we have a really great chemistry. People always come up to us all the time when we're playing and say it, and
it's something that we really like. We really like the harmonies. We really like singing them.
And you definitely sound great. I was actually out there, listeners in Radio Land, I was there to see the Non-Domestiks. I think I reached out to them on a Wednesday, and they said, hey, we're playing live at a local bar on Saturday. So I was able to come after work here and watch them for about an hour or so. It was around 11 o'clock. I stood about a little after midnight. It was a great set, at least for the part that I saw. How much did you practice? Once like, wow, I found someone that likes the same style and music I do. Did you try to practice as much as you could?
I think we actually did practice a lot.
Yeah, we got right to it. We were,
we would spend an entire Saturday together, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we were really putting a lot of, and I think we did the EP relatively quickly after that. Yeah. And, we landed a gig at the Tin Angel, I think just the year later.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
So things were really going well and quickly, and and then
there was a lull.
Well, I don't know what happened.
There's always little lulls along the way.
I think we got sucked into just gigging and playing covers too, because we wanted to gig and everything, and we're still doing original things and covers, and
it's nice to do both. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of their music out there, listeners, the Non-Domestiks have gracefully gave me some of their tracks. I'm going to be playing a couple songs throughout this program this evening. So speaking of songs, we were talking off the air earlier about you're more of a prog rock kind of girl growing up, and you liked all kinds of music and everything. So how could you say to the listeners what kind of music you really listen to inspire you to make what you're making today?
Well, prog rock was definitely a part of what I listened to, but I really was really into Bowie and Lou Reed and stuff like that too, and that was a very strong influence. Like for instance, like one of the songs in September Monday reminds me of a Lou Reed song, and I would say that as far as artists that have inspired me, definitely Bowie, the Beatles, that type of thing, and as far as prog rock, Genesis, and yes. But as far as the question again, can you repeat?
Well, just the music that you grew up listening to, how does that work into your music right now that you're playing?
Yeah.
The inspirations. Like,
well, I think on September Monday, it's really a good example of all our influences. We really kind of, I'm going to say, stole or pay homage to a lot of different things on that album, and a lot of things that we heard and things that we've liked.
Yeah, that album really represents, you'll hear pretty much everything that we're influenced by. Moody Blues, Beatles, like I said, Lou
Joan
Reed.
Jett.
There's really a lot. Jefferson Airplane, who she really likes. there's a song on there that sounds like that. It definitely brings out our influences more than any other recording we did, I think. Yeah.
And I'm about to play in a few moments the song "Is There No One" from
September
Monday. I had to think for a second. So tell the listeners right now, what is September Monday, and as far as that song, is there any inspirations behind that or any meaning?
Well, September Monday was something that I came up with the idea many years ago because on the way to work I heard a story about how statistically there were more suicides on Mondays in September's, and I was just kind of drawn by that because I was thinking, in a very small way, what might lead people to that, and I just was thinking about it. And so I had written that song a while ago, and we had decided that we were going to use that for the new album. But when we started doing the album and getting all these other songs together, it was almost like a puzzle that was already there, and we were just plugging songs in, and we're like, this one goes here, this one goes there. And
it developed into a story. It was actually a story. And it was so
and
cool.
Is There No One was one that was written. Some of them are older songs and some are new. It's maybe 75% new and then 25% older. And Is There No One is one of the new ones. It was kind of written for a specific spot, but not really. But it's basically near the end of the sad part of the album before there's an upward turn, because it does end on a positive note, and that's sort of like almost the lowest point as far as mentally. It's the heaviest one that way.
Yeah. It's the anger. It's ends
the
with
despair.
an explosion.
It has the most despair.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
But it's an interesting album in that it shifts moods, and we actually really can see it. I can see this on Broadway. I really can. I can really see it whole 9 yards, dance, choreography.
Wow.
I think it would make a great play or staged somewhere as a theatrical production.
So that's something we have in the back of our minds at all
and
times.
So this is your version of The Wall, basically.
Yeah, well.
Oh, it's better than The Wall.
But yeah, I definitely see it in that light, and it's nice, I hope it happens someday.
Yeah, we'll do it someday. If we win the lottery and we can put it on ourselves, it'll happen.
Yeah.
I'll be right there to see it. So just to let you know out there, listeners of Radio Land, that they also do covers, and after I play Is There No One, I'm going to be playing an awesome Cream cover that they have. Yeah. Can you tell us about Cream, and is that something that you also grew up listening to, or just a song, hey, we should cover that?
It was just a song that, we always feel like we should do more blues. People love blues, but, it's hard to find.
It's an awfully fun song to sing.
Yeah, but I like to do different things. And to me, it was an unusual song that not too many people think of. And when we started singing it in unison, it just had this really kind of, it just had a different feel to it, hearing these two, girls kind of just singing it, which was a very, male kind of song from Cream, like one of the top blues bands of the 60s. So, it just popped into my head one day, and I thought, let's try it, and we loved it.
Yeah, it definitely sounds great. Well. And out there, you'll be able to hear that in a few moments. But right now, as I mentioned, you are rocking with the rock on SNJ Today, 1240 a.m. and SNJtoday.com. I'm here with Katrina and Rosawa of the Non-Domestiks. And right now, we're going to hear a song from their album, which came out in September, called September Monday. This song is There No One?
I am here all alone. Hi, this is Rebecca Kowalowitz, Social Media Manager, and you are rocking with The Rock exclusively on SNJ Today, 1240 AM and SNJtoday.com.
Strange brew, get what's inside of you. She's a witch of trouble in electric blue. In her own right mind, she's in love with you, with you. Now what you gonna do? Strange brew, kill what's inside of you. She's some kind of demon missing in the blue. If you don't watch out, he will stick to you, to you. What kind of fool are you? Strange brew, kill what's inside of you. On a boat in the middle of a raging sea, she will make a scene for it all to be ignored. And wouldn't you be bored? Strange brew, kill what's inside of you. Strange brew, strange brew, strange brew, strange brew, strange brew, kill what's inside of you.
Hi, this is Rebecca Kowalowitz, Social Media Manager, and you are rocking with The Rock exclusively on SNJ Today, 1240 AM and SNJtoday.com.
Strange brew, kill what's inside of you. She's a witch of trouble in electric blue. In her own right mind, she's in love with you, with you. Now what you gonna do? Strange brew, kill what's inside of you. She's some kind of demon missing in the blue. If you don't watch out, he will stick to you, to you. What kind of fool are you? Strange brew, kill what's inside of you. make a scene for it all to be ignored. And wouldn't you be bored? Strange brew, kill what's inside of you. Strange brew, strange brew, strange brew, strange.